Check out this sunset. That looks so amazing. Wow. I wanted to make a challenge for myself, and what is going to be the challenge? Well, I've seen so many amazing artists create spectacular pieces of artwork with landscapes and characters, but then I thought to myself, what if I completely do the opposite of that? And I don't mean to make a really bad painting, that's not what I'm talking about. I wanted to find something that is going to be so boring that I have to push myself as an artist to make it look amazing. That is the first challenge. Second challenge, I'm gonna be focusing on illumination and light and how the light will affect the mood of that subject. I found what I was gonna paint. If you go to art school, that is the first thing they tell you to paint. That's gonna be oranges, apples, you know. I haven't done that in like forever. Here's the objective. I'm gonna paint a really, really happy orange. Secondly, I'm gonna paint a really, really sad and like a sad and crying orange in terms of like the mood of the painting. And then I'm gonna do like a really, really hardcore, dark, grungy and edgy. So those are three paintings that I'm gonna do today, and hopefully it will look something amazing, spectacular. We'll see. I don't know yet, and that's the beauty of art. You don't know until you try. I am painting in Clip Studio Paint, usually on the iPad, but today I wanted to do it on my desktop computer. I haven't really done that in forever, so I'm gonna get my tablet, the big one, the big boy tablet. And second, last thing is I'm going to share an article in the description about how I went about this painting step by step. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and click on that. But otherwise, let's get started. You see this in the closet right there? That right there? That is my drawing tablet that I haven't really gotten out of my closet for like 2 months because iPad has been my life. Hopefully it still works and it didn't explode on me, but... Do you see all these cables? Do you see them? Wacom, why do you do this to me? I charge my laptop, the most advanced piece of technology, with one cable. What is this? Why do we need this? Can someone explain to me why do we need this? Why? Why is it all tangled? Ow! That hurt. You need a PhD degree to connect this stuff, I swear. Yay! It's working. It's actually working. Now we have the tablet set up, we have the computer on, and we have the orange. I just have to become the orange and just think about what it is to be an orange. What does it taste like? This tastes horrible, by the way. I'm not gonna do this twice. This is the final take. By the way, a few other things is that you don't really have to pick specifically an orange. It could be a water bottle with a bunch of stickers. It could be something simple, as long as it's very simple enough for you to see, oh, this is how it looks in real life, and this is what I can push it for. How can I make it super, super crazy, dynamic, even though you don't have a lot of options to. I finally finished the paintings. I finished all 3 of them, and I was like super happy about it. Let's pause this for a second. I was really happy with the results, and hopefully you will like them too. I will show you them in just a bit. If you just wanna see the time-lapse, I'll link that in the description. But just in general, I wanted to go over a little bit of a process for this and how I went ahead and created these. First thing I usually go for is line art, and I usually use a simple Clip Studio Paint opacity brush, just like this. It's very, very, not fancy. It comes with Clip Studio Paint. I really love using it, and I usually set it to kind of this size because if I don't, if I make it like way too small, I start detailing too much, and it's just not really good for a painting. And as you can see, I can use the oil paint brush that comes again with Clip Studio Paint. It lets me mix colors like that, which makes it seamless and more traditional looking. And especially for my second painting, you're gonna love that part because it has so much texture in there. And this is my favorite part. This is just something, just gives it oomph in there that you just can't get with any other style that I go for. So there's this technique in oil paints or acrylics where undertoning, there's going to be a really bright punchy color behind, and it's like my favorite thing in the world when I paint, and I really love to add that into my digital work. And it's very simple. You can just separate this by layer and then just leave it empty behind, and then add a really bright color behind. Obviously leave gaps like that, which will lead to this effect, and I really love this. And sometimes it doesn't stay for the final painting, but it's still like a really nice and good touch to make it more traditional and feel more alive and have like a soul or something. And you know, it has a soul. It's my baby. Overall, I was going for a very happy orange in this painting. On top, I started doing color dodge, add a glow, and overlay. Very simple. Just make a new layer, pick like a similar color to this, and set it to overlay, add color or color dodge or anything, or glow, and after that it will allow you to create this cool effect. And it's not gonna work if everything is very bright, so that's why I tone down everything a little bit and use a simple airbrush on top with low opacity to get this effect. And I really love this kind of glow. And after I'm done with this, I usually tone it down a little bit, maybe 50%, depending on your style. Obviously, if you want, you can just go like all the way. Boring stuff that is not really anything special. You just keep adding details, smudge colors around, and you can see I'm struggling with the colors here and the texture, and I feel like the texture of the orange was like my least favorite thing to do, and I'm just really not good at that. So I think that's like one of those things that I should have worked on more. And you can see here, this was first and then next, first, next. You can see that I just reduced the opacity for the line work, so now it looks a little bit more like a real painting. Flatten everything, so I just go all bonkers and then just remove all layers, and it's all flattened like this, and I can't fix anything unless I really like sit down and do like this. So I had a circle, and then I would put the circle in here, and I would use it, you can see I would use it to get general colors. So I was just using the circle to get a selection out of it. That's it. It's pretty simple. You can get any shape, and if you click on the layer and Clip Studio Paint, it gives you, you can do this with any tool, honestly. You could just use the circle tool. So that's the only thing I was doing. I just set the circle, and then I started doing general colors in there that are gonna look like nicer. And then I just kept going with textures, and you can see I'm adding a little bit more gesture to it, and also I'm making the orange disproportionate like a little bit. It's like a little bit more straight edge, which doesn't make sense because oranges are circular, but it just gives me a little bit more, stylization, a little bit more personality, and it just looks more like a choice. And so after the whole thing, here's what I did. I just selected these parts and then make them a little bit more darker to make it more contrasty. And I couldn't resist myself, and I just added smiley face to my orange, and I was just super happy about that. I did cheat a little bit, and I did make all of my oranges with a face on it. I went with like very orangey colors, happy colors, nostalgia colors, and just to give you an idea, if you want to pick something that is going to help you with colors, go ahead and watch photography or movies or anything. So first thing, happiness. What is happiness? Well, it's childhood, love, nostalgia. And I went ahead and I went with like Polaroid photos. I went online. I was like, can I see Polaroid photos from birthday parties, from like different ways you can look at happiness? And that's what I did. I just looked up stuff that makes me happy, and I kind of pulled colors from there to see, oh, I love sunsets. Sunsets make me happy. They're usually orange and bright, you know. So that's just one of the ideas that I can give you. And for this style specifically, I really love doing brush strokes in a specific way. So you can see it goes like this way, these go this way, and makes your main subject just a little bit more, you know, centered. And for the next one, for the sad, look at this. I've actually used so much more texture in here. You can check it out. So much green and blue. This made me very, very happy. Well, very sad, but it made me happy that I was able to pick bluish and greens, but also kind of communicate with you that it's still an orange. And I also did the crying face, and also I did reflections on the floor. Mostly because, well, it also looks pretty, it looks nicer, it looks cooler, but one of those things is that for me, it's a little bit sad when it's raining, right? So you can see the little drip right here. You can see a little bit drops right here. So I know it's like an impressionism kind of style, so you don't really can't tell that it's raining, but during rain and just in general when it's like bad weather, you can see the reflections of the floor. So if you stand, there's like a little bit of reflection from cement, and that's what I did here. So I was trying to give this effect of it's raining by adding reflection over here, and that kind of made you feel a little bit more sad maybe. But that's what I did. At least I was thinking about those things when I was making it. But you can see, you know, the style and general approach is kind of the same. I went with like a dark green line work for this, and I just keep adding things and just general shapes as I was working. And I started with the same brush as before, and you can see that I've kept adding and adding different colors, and in this case I was really going for like bigger strokes because I didn't want to add too much small tiny details. And so that is one of those things that I made this painting a little bit different from the last one, and it made me feel like I learned a lot. So maybe if you do something similar, you can definitely learn a lot if you start with very big strokes and just don't go into details and think about what are your main kind of objectives. So for this one I was like going for sad, and I just went with greenish blue colors. And also I just want to share this technique. You can see this at the end. Yeah, goes from here to here. There's different ways of doing this, but one of my ways I do it is if I go into layer and then go to new correction layer, and in here there's color balance, and you click it, and in here you can find there's shadows, halftone, and highlight. And depending on what I go for, I start with shadows, and I go ahead and add more blue. You can see that it changes the image, and then I can go with more like this, and then maybe add a little bit more green. So it really depends on the mood you're going for. So if I want to make something happy, I can go red, magenta, yellow, and then red, yellow, and you can see it's already over kind of exposing this. But yeah, you can just play around with these settings, like how to kind of play with the color. But you can go into color, and then you can just remove a little bit of opacity, so 40%, and it made our painting just a little bit shifting colors. And that's how I did it here. So basically I was just, let me have this, and then I went ahead and made everything a little bit darker, a little bit more blue. So for this I was specifically inspired by kind of Renaissance church darkness Rembrandt painting. And the redness, the saturated dark red, is usually like aggressive, and it shows you like danger, and that's what I was kind of hoping to achieve in this painting. Here I was using more solid lines and I was trying to do more, a little bit, you know, perspective here and here. Adding the tablecloth was the biggest mistake of my life because it was so much work for no reason. For the last one, you can see I just went super crazy with like big brush strokes, and I didn't even care. And yeah, same technique. You can see I did regular, and then I did a little bit more brightness, and then I removed it just a bit so I can have a little bit of a glow. And that's how I did. And for just in general the darker parts, I went with purple, and that's kind of gave it that weird effect of darkness. And also another thing, if you notice, for almost 3 of my paintings, I went ahead and I cropped it. And that's just one of those things that I feel like if you want to show the subject, like for example the orange or anything like that, you can go ahead and just always crop everything, make it bigger. And if you had all this dead space, you don't really need that stuff. You can just go ahead and remove it. Here you can see I'm adding like heavy shadows, because that's what Renaissance and kind of old school paintings were like. There was a lot of darkness, a lot of heavy shadows. Here I go just adding more and more contrast, and I also added more shadows. And this is the final result. I think my favorite one is gonna be the sad one. I don't know why, but he's just so funny looking when I finished him. Alright, I'm blabbering a bit in here, but thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want to check out a little bit more, see the article in the description. You can like the video if you want to see more, and subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. But other than that, I'll catch you on the flip side. Enjoy painting, enjoy moving forward with your kind of new year, and hopefully it'll bring us cool stuff and nothing bad like the previous 2-3 years. But yeah, thank you so much, and happy painting.